Hey guys, how's it going? It's Alpha here, and thanks for joining me for another Tom Clancy's The Division video. And this is going to be a build video highlighting my Reclaimer build. So if we go ahead and hop right into the inventory, we could see the skills that we're dealing with. We're going to go through each piece and kind of explain why it's there and what the purpose and usage is. So if we hop right into, let's start with the chest piece. So I've got my Reclaimer vest on, which is rolled to armor, and it's a pretty good roll. I believe either 1866 or 1899 is the total native and possible rolled armor combined. So 1801 is pretty darn good with a 702 stamina roll on it. And this Reclaimer vest, you can see it's rolled to armor. And I also have a native 15% exotic damage resilience in there, and I've got some ammo capacity as well, so it all works out pretty good. And if I'm running smart cover, I've got smart cover damage resilience, so really a pretty damn good piece. And if we look at the mods on it, I've got both electronics and skill power going on, and the reason for that is this build is primarily a support build, and having high skill power will give us, powerful pulses and smart covers, which are really very powerful buffs for the entire group. So even though my toughness isn't an extremely high amount, the high skill power, which of course, contrary to the Tactician Authority, does not get buffed up by damage, I will get still very, very effective usage of those talents. So of course, when you're running Reclaimer, you're going to probably be using a support station, since you get the support station healing speed, and you get the consumable duration, and of course the 4-piece, the Reclaimer talent. Consumables and special ammo used now apply to the whole group and are not consumed on use. So you're pretty much giving your group lots of fire bullets, explosive bullets, and possibly water, things of that nature. Anyways, if we hop into the mask here, you can see this is rolled to stamina once again, and rolled to skill power here. So we have skill power, disorient resistance, and again smart cover, so smart cover duration. So here we've got firearms with an exotic damage resilience as a mod, and this is a totally maxed out firearms mod. As far as I know, I believe 162 is the max, so that is pretty useful. I mean, you can see this is not just a tank build. This is more of a hybrid build with a preference towards skill power to be an effective support player here. So we've got some final measure knee pads on, which are just amazing because these are obviously 268 level, so they have 780 inherent armor with a 726 stamina roll, so very powerful, adding into the toughness there. And I have them rolled to exotic damage resilience again, and I've got some bleed resistance and shock resistance in there, so pretty awesome. And then pulse duration is the skill attribute, which is not quite as useful, but if I'm running pulse, then obviously it would be. And here we've got you get out of here, go. People in New York, so rude. So okay, knee pads, we're pretty much done with these. Skill attribute, pulse duration, and we're running a 2-piece set bonus, giving us 50% exotic damage resilience, with a firearms mod giving us skill power. So again, lots of skill power there. Now the support pack I've got is actually rolled to electronics, which up until a couple weeks ago would have been heresy. No one wanted electronics. Now everyone's kind of slowly flocking over, realizing the absolute power that the strong skill power will give a team, and how to actually build teams that complement each other without everyone running a hybrid DPS with 20k skill power and everyone has pulse and overheal. It's quite silly. So having some dynamic builds in the group, such as this, are quite useful. So again, it's a pretty well rolled electronics roll at over 700. And I've got 7355 on skill power, which again is pretty high, and we've got some good resistance in there with disrupt resistance. Now the skill attributes here are not too useful, but the support station range would be used quite a bit by reclaimers, so that's pretty good. And on here we've got some more firearms and exotic damage resilience. And let's see, our last two, we've got gloves. So rolled to firearms. So you can see, like I said, it's not just a tank build where there's no firearms going on. They're not the best, but I do have support station duration as a skill attribute. Crit hit chance, LMG damage, pistol damage. So the major attributes honestly aren't great. I'm obviously not building for crit hit chance, so I'm not too concerned with those. And I forget if I rolled these yet. But if I were to re-roll, I don't even know what I'd go for, to be honest, because I'm happy with the build as it is. But if you think of something that should be there, let me know in the comment section down below for sure. And finally, the final measure holster. It's a 240 piece, so the rolls here are not great. This whole build would be improved if it was a 268 piece, but it's rolled to armor, and you can see here I'm below 1,000 armor on it. I mean, you would really want to have above 1,000 armor, and the skill attribute is just a waste there. Ballistic shield damage really doesn't matter for this build. So if we go and look at the actual character here, we could see survivability. We're at 380k toughness with 97,000 health. Armor is just about at 75%, which is the armor cap currently. And we've got exotic damage resilience at 81%. So the max there is 90%. So again, we're not, even though it's not a super tanky build, we're going to have good survivability against pretty much everything other than shotguns and snipers, because regular ammo will not be enough to, take us down in 1 or 2 hits thanks to the decent toughness, and the exotic damage resilience will really help out there. And we've got bleed resilience of 30%, disorient at 16%, disrupt at 13%, shock at 26%. So you could see it's not a super tanky build, but it does have good survivability with all those resistances. And if you look at my firearms here, I've got those mods in, which put me at 2271. And if you look at what I'm currently using, which is a 229 L86, it's a decent roll. I mean, considering the firearms at 2200, getting 9500 damage is pretty good. 26% target out of cover is on the higher end there, and we're actually able to proc all of our talents here. And I don't even think I rolled this because I originally was using it on my other build, which will be in a different video, and none of them are procced but the last one as a result. But with this build, since it's not all geared into stamina, I get deadly active. I actually have meticulous active, which again, if I were to roll, I would roll off of this most likely. And then I have competent, which is in the 3rd slot, so it's always going to be active, and it increases weapon damage when I use a skill. And you can see with a build like this, I would be using skills all the time, so it's quite useful. And the mods in here, honestly, I don't think there's really much going on with them. I've got magazine size, crit hit damage, which doesn't really matter. I mean, the RPMs on this is not high, but I'm not a huge damage dealer. I guess I could get a magazine size, rate of fire in there. Optimal range, headshot damage. Again, I'm just kind of throwing in mods that I had available. Optimal range is not super useful for this, but LMGs do have a high native headshot damage, so buffing that up will help. And then the last two are accuracy stability and accuracy horizontal stability. And the LMG, once you get those rounds coming out, is pretty darn fast. And my second weapon here is a first wave M1A. Again, it's not super great with the roll here, only 155% headshot damage. But again, I do have all of my talents active. Swift, which is not too useful. Vicious, which is useful, as long as the health stays up. And since I would be largely staying out of the front lines, it should remain active with overheals. And finally, Adept. Using a skill increases crit hit chance by 9% for 5 seconds. So again, what I was looking for with this build were things that had skill usage related talents in the third slot, so that I would be able to use my skills often and increase my damage that way. Now here we've got magazine size, rate of fire, which honestly could probably be swapped with the LMG, accuracy, crit hit chance, and that would be much better to be headshot damage, crit hit chance with a M1A. Crit hit damage, reduced threat, accuracy, stability. These are not great mods by any means. They're kind of hand-me-downs, to be honest, and I didn't really give too much thought as to what was going in there quite yet. It could definitely be improved upon. But anyways, guys, that is my Reclaimer build. Everyone loves to have a Reclaimer in their group, so if you're running Reclaimer, you could most definitely find groups that would be happy to have you on board, and you can buff up the entire team quite well. And I think this is a nice balance where I'm able to get active talents on my weapons. I'm able to do some damage, especially when buffed up by high skill power pulses and smart covers, and at the same time I'm somewhat not tanky, but I have good survivability with all the damage resilience I have, and I'm able to continuously give my group specialized ammo or increased damage, whatever it might be, with the Reclaimer talent. I hope you liked this video. This is my first Division build video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and there'll definitely be some more, as I've got 2 other pretty good builds that I would like to share with you. So until next time, see you later. Alpha out.